So you started back in the early 90s, 1991, 1992 was the first album, right? How have things changed in these over 13 years musically in the music world, do you feel? Well, apart for you, the career, the growing, the becoming, better and bigger, but the way people see music and the way you see music, has it changed in the past years?
Well, I started playing at all with 13 years and it was 93. So for me, the change, I didn't feel much this change that maybe Rafael did when he started the band back in 91. When he started the band, I was 11 years old and I never dreamed of playing. So for me, I see that information reaches people much easier today. So for a band to get known, if the guy, if he's into internet, he gets the band known worldwide. So I think the main change is information and this global net of information that if you do something here today, someone tomorrow in the other side of the world will know what you've done.
Do you feel that this maybe is counterproductive as well at the same time because of the downloading and the copying? I mean, it has affected many musicians. Many bands are actually, splitting up because they're getting dumped by the record labels because their sales are dropping and that kind of. Do you feel this pressure with piracy? I'm sure in Brazil there's probably quite a lot to do with piracy.
Yeah, but we're lucky enough to have fans that like the product. They like the physical thing that is a CD with a story, with a booklet, and I think that's well done. For example, this package that we have with a DVD and a special digipack, they give a lot of value to this. But the people that get affected the most by piracy are the popular artists. That they have one hit, and people just refuse to buy the CD for one music. So for Angra fans, it's really important to have it as a collector. They collect all the things that we release. So I think for us, it's not as bad. And internet has a help in a way to promote the band where you would never reach. For example, countries you would never go to make a concert, for example. But has the bad and the good side.
Do you? What's actually in the DVD of this edition?
No, it's a concert. It's a concert that we played over 2 years ago. It was one of the first concerts that we had with this lineup. It was actually very early for us to record a concert
in Sao Paulo.
In Sao Paulo, we wanted to document the beginning of the band, and that concert is pretty much showing the new beginning of this band when we didn't even know it was going to be successful or not, because we had this huge lineup change. And nowadays the concert that you're gonna see tonight is totally different than the one is registered on the record. But for us it was a very special moment and very important for us to document, because we can remember when everything started again.
So this concert here is with the new lineup. So it's a sort of it's a presentation, like a rebirth of Angra.
Exactly.
Una domanda che gli ho fatto prima è riguardo appunto gli oltre 13 anni della carriera che loro hanno avuto fino adesso. Sono iniziati il primo disco nel 92, quindi una band che è in giro sin dal 1991, e gli ho chiesto appunto secondo loro cos'è che è cambiato nel mondo della musica, cos'è cambiato nella loro carriera, se è cambiato qualcosa nel loro modo di porsi alla musica. Felipe diceva appunto che la cosa più importante che è cambiata è l'informazione, la capacità di raggiungere tutte le persone possibili, immaginabili in giro per il mondo con internet, con la televisione, con la radio. Di sicuro è molto più facile oggi proporre il proprio materiale artistico a una vasta gamma di persone. Ovviamente vi dicevo che ci sono anche delle parti negative riguardo alla pirateria, allo scaricare la musica, però lui dice che loro sono sempre stati molto fortunati ad avere dei fan che amano avere il prodotto in mano, la scatola con la confezione, con dentro il DVD, il disco bonus, la copertina, il libretto, quindi avendo un fan base del genere loro questa cosa la sentono decisamente meno. Fra l'altro qua in questa edizione qua che c'è dentro anche un DVD di un concerto che loro hanno fatto a Sao Paulo, il primo concerto con questa line-up che Raffaele ha voluto puntualizzare che è una sorta di presentazione della rinascita degli Angra con questa line-up per presentare la band com'è adesso. Okay guys, well then, thanks a lot for the interview.
Thank you.
Have a great show tonight. Anything you want to say to the Italian fans? Last words to you.
Well, I invite you all the fans to come tonight and see us. For us, it's very important to come back here and to present our new concert, our new CD. And I would like to thank for all the support throughout all these years, because the Italian fans has always been very supportive to us. So thank you. Grazie mille.
You want to add something?
The same. It's always been great to play in Italy, and I'm sure that tonight the fans will be the same hardcore fans that sing with us, that join this moment with us again.
Ok, great. Allora ragazzi, vi ricordo tutti quanti, Angra, Temple of Shadows, il nuovo album. Con voi Grom a Rock TV, vi ricordo il mio sito www.gromdrums.com, vi ricordo anche il sito degli Angra www.angra.net. Ciao a tutti, alla prossima. Siamo qua al Seaside di Milano, locale che ricorderete col nome di Propaganda, in occasione del concerto degli Angra, concerto milanese degli Angra, che in occasione dell'uscita del loro nuovo disco, ossia Temple of Shadows, come potete vedere qua, nuovo disco della band brasiliana che alcuni definiscono prog power, alcuni definiscono power e basta, ma comunque una band che ha sempre avuto un grandissimo seguito, un grandissimo successo nel loro genere, nel loro indirizzo. Band che è in giro da tantissimi anni, sin dal 1991, primi anni 90, comunque una band che ha avuto una carriera grandissima, un riconoscimento internazionale enorme. Andiamo subito a parlare qua con Felipe e Rafael, ossia bassista e chitarrista degli Angra. Andiamo subito a parlare del nuovo disco, ossia Temple of Shadows degli Angra. Okay guys, welcome to Italy. So you have a new album out, right? Temple of Shadows. So I'd like to ask you now, how do you feel this album compares to your older ones? And then I'd like to talk a bit more about the theme in this album. I've noticed from the front cover and from the title that there might be something to do with the Templars, or something to do with this. Okay, something to do with this kind of theme that has been pretty much launched by lately. It's becoming quite popular about the Templars and the Holy Grail, about the Da Vinci Code. I don't know if you read the book. So tell us a bit about the album musically and about the theme behind the album. I think many people probably have picked up on this Templar imagery.
Well, I think about musically, we became more mature, and it's 13. The band reached 13 years now, and I think we have reached the highest peak of maturity and tightness. We've been playing together for the last tour, over 100 concerts, and that helped us a lot to groove and to know each other better. So we are very connected musically and also very connected personally, which is very important. And we are thinking as one, we are reaching the same goals, and we understood ourselves as a group. And this is very important, and that's very important also for the sound. The concept of the lyrics and the story behind, yes, it's about the Templars, but not only about the Templars. The thing is, I told a story based on the medieval times, on the Mid Ages, but basically to try to show people that we are always committing the same mistakes, that we are nowadays showing that we showing the same disrespect for each other.
So history repeats itself. That's what you're trying to say.
That's the basic idea of the album. And sometimes we look back to the past and we find we get so amazed with how people would be so stupid to commit those mistakes. But if we watch close, we're gonna realize that we are committing the same mistakes right now again. That's the idea.
Quindi appunto diceva che il nuovo disco degli Angra musicalmente è sicuramente il disco più stretto, se vogliamo fare una traduzione proprio letteraria, come diceva lui. La band è in giro da 13 anni, da più di 13 anni ormai, quindi hanno raggiunto un livello di maturità compositiva, un livello di maturità tecnica fra di loro, un affiatamento umano, diceva appunto anche, che è molto importante per il loro sound. Infatti questo disco lui lo considera come il disco più maturo che gli Angra abbiano mai fatto fino ad ora. Per quanto riguarda la tematica dei testi, dell'immagine del disco, del tema del disco, che io gli avevo appunto chiesto riguardo ai Templari, appunto perché è un disco che evidentemente dalla copertina e dal titolo potete vedere si riconosce tranquillamente l'immagine medievale, l'immagine comunque dei Templari, immagine che è stata lanciata molto negli ultimi tempi dal libro di Dan Brown, Il Codice da Vinci, che sicuramente voi avete sentito nominare. Lui dice che il disco parla sì di Templari, parla sì della storia, ma vuole lanciare un messaggio molto molto importante. Lui dice che secondo lui che ha scritto i testi e la storia dietro questo disco, la storia si ripete e nonostante tutti gli anni che sono passati dal Medioevo, tuttora oggi stiamo commettendo gli stessi errori di intolleranza e di diciamo aggressività nei confronti di noi stessi e del prossimo, degli altri esseri umani. Quindi una sorta di messaggio che lui vuole lanciare sull'umanità che sta commettendo sempre gli stessi errori.
Come stai, Milano? Hey! Oh, nice. Oh, è bello essere di nuovo acá in Milano. Grazie. È passato tanto tempo dalla ultima volta, ma ok, del mio italiano è stato perfetto. Ma l'importante è parlare che siamo tornati di nuovo, ok? Basta parlare. The first song that we played is called Spread of Fire, and after we played Wait in Silence from the new album Temple of Shadows. And now I want to hear everybody screaming and burning with the acid rain!
So let's talk a bit about your country, Brazil. So it's a great country. I really, love to go to Brazil. And it's a country that inside the metal world, it's always been, at least here in Italy, always associated to the more extreme genres of metal, like Sepultura, and you have old cult bands like Sarcophago and that kind of stuff. So how is the power prog metal scene in Brazil? How was it growing in Brazil musically, and does it offer the possibility, the career possibilities for a band that plays your kind of music?
Well, it's getting every time better. Since the last album, since Rebirth, I think we helped the scene to grow in a way that we went to all the mainstream media, like television, radios, and magazines, and always telling the message that heavy metal is not about noise and fights and aggressivity, but it's all about culture and musicians and people that are interested in the stories that we tell and a better way of life. And music, they have it as a life and really take it seriously. And people had understood that. And many bands had appeared in the last times. And these bands now, they can get to a good studio. They have a record label to release them. They're getting deals around the world.
Yeah, your drummer as well. He worked with Paul Di'Anno.
I worked as well.
Oh, you worked as well. That's a great thing. I mean, to think that the ex-singer of Iron Maiden actually went to Brazil to record an album with a Brazilian lineup. It's it's a very big thing for your country, for the scene, for the metal scene in Brazil, I suppose.
Yes, and with this kind of work that we did with the mainstream media, now the heavy metal is seen as a respected kind of thing that it's growing. It's not yet mainstream, of course, but it will always be underground. But the bands now, they can make sort of a career and make shows and make concerts.
It's getting there.
It's getting there, and I think for Angra, it's getting every time better. We're getting to play festivals with popular bands, that reach all kinds of.
So you're saying before it was more underground and now it's kind of opening up lately?
Yeah, more and more.
Vi ho chiesto appunto riguardo alla scena brasiliana, un paese che comunque è sempre stato bene o male associato, perlomeno in Italia, ad un genere più estremo di metal. Ricordiamo tutti Sepultura, i vari sarcofagi, comunque band che fanno un tipo di metal decisamente più estremo. Meno band che fanno il genere che fanno gli Angra si sono sentite arrivare dal Brasile. Quindi gli ho fatto una domanda riguardo appunto alla scena brasiliana di questo genere, che tipo di opportunità di carriera offre il loro paese in questo momento. Lui dice che la cosa bella del Brasile è che ultimamente negli anni sta cambiando e la gente sta iniziando a capire che il metal non si tratta solo di rumore, come diceva lui, ma di un genere che proprio può avere una realtà professionale, può avere una realtà artistica decisamente più sofisticata e più evoluta rispetto a quella che quella che era anni e anni fa in Brasile, era tutto quanto molto più underground, appunto diceva lui, e ultimamente si sta aprendo moltissimo, le band iniziano ad avere l'opportunità di fare cose molto più grosse, di fare molti più concerti, di lavorare molto molto di più, e loro hanno avuto questa esperienza fantastica di lavorare con Paul Di'Anno, voi ricordate il vecchio cantante degli Iron Maiden, che ha registrato un album che si chiama Nomad, infatti, dove nella line-up erano tutti brasiliani, includevano il batterista attuale degli Angra e lui stesso. So now, talking about inspirations, you guys are, technical, but at the same time, it's not that kind of like virtuoso technique, which is just to show, oh, look how good I am, if you know what I mean. It's all working very much, in my opinion, towards the, towards helping out the song, towards the actual song, It's not something which is done just to show how good the musician is. I'd like to know where you draw your inspirations for playing. And how do you always interpret the line between technique for a song and technique just to, give the listener something exciting to hear on an instrument, the way it's played?
It's very nice to hear what you said, because this is the main concept of the band.
That's really what I think.
The main thing behind the band is something that I believe, and I think we've been based upon since the beginning. I believe that music is something that you have to balance your rational side and your emotional side, or the intuitive part of yourself, or the brain thing, the rational thing. And combining these two, finding the balance between these two things is the good, is the perfect song, is the perfect composition. Like the classic composers and all these people, it was a science, but also it was an art.
There's an emotional side to it.
Yeah, I think that music is something that really combines science and art together. All the geometric concepts and also the mathematics concepts into something that should be pleasant to the ears of people. And I mean, how we judge it is a matter of knowing each other's and listening and showing also to people and having people interested and getting the feedbacks of everyone. And it's not an easy judgment, because sometimes it's too easy to judge something nice for how hard it is to play.
You're tempted, but you have to.
You're always tempted for the vanish, the
vanity.
The vanity side of it, because you want to expose your limits, you want to expose your skills, but we have to also always be very focused on how it really would help the song, as you said. So I don't know, I can't explain it. It's something that mainly you have to be focused on, not to commit the mistake of exposing yourself too much.
Do you find yourself
be not for the human? It should be not based on your human limits. It should be something above it.
But do you find yourself actually having to draw a line? Do you find yourself when you're composing the songs actually have to reach a point and say, no, I think we should slow down on the technical side here?
Sometimes we are very into playing and into techniques and into evolving, and then sometimes it's hard to know the limit, the line, as you said, between emotion and reason. But with this kind of judgment that we all do together, and together with the producer and together with the people that we live among, I think we find this balance between technique and emotion. And I think after all, music is about emotion, because most of the people will never know what you're doing technically. They will just know if they like the song or not.
That's right. Gli Angra hanno sempre avuto una caratteristica ben particolare e estremamente positiva, secondo me. Loro hanno sempre saputo usare la tecnica al punto giusto. Sono tutti quanti dei musicisti che sanno suonare benissimo il loro strumento, ma senza arrivare ad un punto di utilizzare dei virtuosismi fini a se stessi, giusto per far vedere quanto sono bravi. Lui diceva che mi ha fatto molto piacere questa cosa che ho detto, perché è proprio quello che loro cercano di fare quando compongono i loro pezzi. Loro cercano, ovviamente sono tentati di spingere sempre più in là i loro limiti tecnici, comunque loro sono molto interessati alla tecnica strumentale, però deve sempre essere comunque fine al pezzo, nel senso che la canzone deve funzionare.